Namaskar and welcome to MK Law Awareness. Today we are going to understand one of the most important changes in India's criminal law system. The topic of today's live session is Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita 2023 BNS. If you are a student, professional, business owner, employee, parent, or simply a citizen who wants to understand the law, this session is for you. For the next 1 hour, I will explain the important concept of BNS in simple English, step by step. So stay with me until the end. Before we begin, one important disclaimer. This live session is for general legal awareness and educational purpose only. The information discussed here should not be treated as legal advice for any particular case. Law can change and the applications of law depends on the facts and circumstances of each case. If you are facing a specific legal problem, you should consult a qualified legal professional. Let us begin. What exactly is the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita? What exactly is the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita? The Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, commonly called BNS, is India's principal law dealing with offences and punishments. It replaced the Indian Penal Code, commonly known as IPC, subject to the statutory savings relating to offences and proceeding under the repealed law. The BNS was enacted in 2023 and came into force on 1st July 2024. Subject to the specific commencement position concerning section 106(2). Now remember one very important point. BNS is not the only criminal law that changed. India introduced three major criminal laws. First, BNS, second, BNSS, Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita. This deals mainly with criminal procedure. Third, Bharatiya Sakshya Adhiniyam BSA. This deals with the law of evidence. So remember this simple formula. BNS, offense and punishment. BNSS, procedure, and BSA is evidence. This distinction is extremely important. Then IPC and BNS. What changed? Now let us compare the old IPC with the BNS. The IPC was enacted in 1860 and the BNS was enacted in 2023. The BNS contains 358 sections and the IPC contained uh, 511 sections. But remember, a smaller number of sections does not necessarily mean fewer criminal offences. The BNS recognize the BNS reorganize and modifies several provisions and introduces specific provisions dealing with offences such as organized crime and terrorism. The important point is this: learn BNS simply by memorizing section number and understand the legal principle offense, exceptions, and practical application. And there are important new concepts. Now we come to some of the important provisions that attracted significant attention. The BNS specifically address organized crime. Organized crime generally involves continuing unlawful activities carried out by individuals or groups or material or financial benefit. Subject to the statutory ingredients, the law also provides for petty organized crime. This is important because the law recognizes certain repeated or coordinated petty criminal activities as a distinct category. Another important provision concerns terrorist act. This includes a specific provision dealing with terrorist act, but remember, not every serious crime is automatically terrorism. The statutory ingredients must be established. In legal practice, the prosecution has to prove the necessary elements of the offense. So, when you hear the word terrorism, should always ask statutory ingredients. That is how it analyzes a criminal provision. Uh, Sedition and Section 152. Now let's discuss one of the most discussed change. The offense commonly known as sedition under Section 124A of the IPC has not been carried out for the same name in the BNS. In BNS Section 152 deals with act the sovereignty and unity and integrity of India. This provision covers specified acts involving, among other things, sessions or rebellion and subversive activities or conduct the unity and integrity of India as provided by the statute. But here is an important legal distinction. Criticism of the government is not automatically equivalent to committing an offense under Section 52. The actual statutory ingredients must be examined. This is why legal awareness should never be based only on headlines. Now let's discuss section 106. BNS section 106 deals with causing death by negligence. There has been considerable public discussion about the provision concerning a driver who causes death by rash and negligent driving and then escape without reporting the incident. However, there is an important commencement issue. Section 106 plus 2 was not brought into on 1st July 2024 along with the other provisions of the BNS. Therefore, we must we must be very careful when discussing its present legal operation. This is a good example of why lawyers should check not only the text of a statute but also the commencement notification. The legal lesson is simple. Enactment and commencement are not always the same thing. And protections of women and children. Now we come to an extremely important part of the BNS, offenses against women and children. The BNS contains detailed provision concerning sexual offenses. One provision that received significant attention is Section 69. It deals with sexual intercourse by deceitful means, including situation involving a promise to marry without any intention of fulfilling that promise, as well as certain other specified forms of deception. The maximum punishment provided is imprisonment, which may extend to 10 years along with fine. But remember, a failed relationship or a broken promise does not automatically establish this offense. The statutory ingredients and facts of the particular case must be examined. The distinction is extremely important. Uh, there are rape of minors. Now let's discuss punishment for rape of minors. This is an area where many social media videos provide oversimplified information. BNS section 65 contains different punishment provisions depending upon the age of the victim. For rape of a woman under 16 years of age, the punishment is imprisonment for a minimum prescribed period and may extend to imprisonment for life along with fine. For rape of a woman under 12 years of age, the law provides imprisonment for a minimum prescribed period, which may extend to imprisonment for life or death along with fine. Therefore, it is incorrect to say every rape of a girl below 18 automatically carries the death penalty. That statement is legally inaccurate. Always check the exact section and subsection. And gang rape, Now let's look at gang rapes. BNS Section 70 provides punishment for gang rape. For the general category covered by Section 71, the punishment includes imprisonment for a minimum of 20 years, which may extend to imprisonment for life along with fine. Section 72 deals with gang rape of a woman under 18 years of age and provides for imprisonment for life or death along with fine. Again, the exact statutory provision must be read carefully. In criminal law, one word or one subsection can completely change the legal position. Now, let's discuss one of the notable features of the BNS community and service. The BNS recognizes community service as one of the punishments available for specified offense. The important point is community service is not available for every offense. It is available only where the relevant statutory provision permits it. For example, certain petty offences and other specified offences may carry community service as a punishment. So, when someone says BNS has replaced imprisonment with community service, that is not correct. The correct statement is BNS introduced community service as a punishment for specified offense. That is the digital evidence. And now let's talk about the technology. Modern criminal investigations frequently involve digital material, mobile phones, CCTV footage, emails, electronic communications, computer records, servers informations. But remember, the PNS is not the complete law of evidence. For evidence related question, we must also look at the Bharatiya Sakshya Adhiniyam 2023. The BSA contains provisions dealing with electronic and digital records and their admissibility. Therefore, remember, BNS tell us what conduct can constitute. Does BNS apply to an offense committed before 1st July 2024? The answer requires carefully attention to the repeal and savings provisions. The repeal of the IPC does not simply erase offences or proceeding that arose under the earlier law. The BNS contains a repeal and savings clause preserving the legal effect of specified matters under the repealed IPC. Therefore, you should never say simply all old cases automatically become BNS cases. That is incorrect. That of the alleged offense, the applicable law, the repeal and savings provision, and the procedural stage must all be examined. And BNSS, and BSc. The final revision, let's quickly revise. If you remember only three things from today's sessions, remember this. Number one, BNS, Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita. It primarily deals with offense and punishment. Number two, BNSS, Bharatiya Nagarik Suraksha Sanhita. It deals with criminal procedure. And number three, BSc, Bharatiya Sakshi Adhiniyam. It deals with evidence. These three laws work together in India's criminal justice framework. Now it is time for quick Q&A. You can type your question in the live chat. Let me take a few common question. Question one: is BNS the same as BNSS? Again, is BNS the same as BNSS? The question is BNS the same as BNSS? The answer is no. BNS deals mainly with offenses and punishments, while BNSS deals with criminal procedure. Question 2: is everything under BNS completely new? Before we close today's live session, let's remember the most important lesson. The Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita is major change in India's substantive criminal law, but understanding BNS requires more than memorizing section numbers. Always ask what is the offense, what are its ingredients, what is the punishment, are there exceptions, when did the provision come into force, and what other law apply to the case. That is the correct way to understand criminal law. Okay, if you found this session useful, please like this live stream, share it with someone who wants to understand Indian law, and subscribe to MK Law Awareness. If you want to me, if you want me to make a detailed session on a particular BNS section, write the section number in the comments. If you want me to make a detailed session on a particular BNS section, write the section number in the comments. Thank you for joining me. Stay informed, know your rights, and always respect the law. I am Advocate Menakatan Misra, and this is my MK Law Awareness. Thank you, and see you in the next session.